Stewart over on the Discord has been a big helper, kind of talking to me about Quest 3 stuff. Just a Quest 3 lover like I am, not someone in the industry. But Stewart had some things wanted me to check out. Sent me a package all the way from Florida. Let's see what we got. For those of you out there who don't know, I do have a P.O. box. It's listed like in the About section or something. It's not under every video, but there is things, Quest, that you have and you're like, oh, I'd rather get a second opinion or something. My P.O. box is always there. This is not me giving everyone permission to randomly flood me with all kinds of weird stuff, but if there's some reason you really want to hit me up, we do have a P.O. box just for that. What do we got? Okay, apparently the knife is gonna be making a return. I had said something about how John's mount broke in his truck for his phone, so I remember him mentioning that was gonna be in the box. We're not reviewing that, but I believe that both of these are Quest somethings. We have got the girthy Quest 3 controller extenders. These are the all plastic handles. Now keep in mind, Stewart wasn't necessarily saying these were good or bad. He said, I'm sending you something that I'm curious your opinion on. So I actually don't know what the thoughts were. We got those big girthy grips and we got some unopened Globular cluster GPQ3 extended controller grips compatible also with the Quest 3. Boy, these ones are fancy. These haven't even been opened. Okay, so these look like they're drop ship grips and these look like they're Globular clusters version of the same thing and they want to be difficult to open. So these are kind of new because typically grips are made of silicone. They don't necessarily make your controller any bigger than the silicone usually adds, and they might add other features like doors for the battery, something like that. But these things both are big and plasticky and look like they're trying to do a whole lot here. And they do have holes for the infrared lights. Whew, these are some wild looking ones. Oh. This case is a prototype, you're not allowed to see this. And we'll keep it under the table. Prototype that has no problem holding the ears on. This desk is becoming like my magical wizard's hat where I just can reach under the desk and pull absolutely anything out at any given moment. These all look like they are intended for original battery doors. They're also meant for original straps. You should put your strap there and still put it through your wrist for safety, but you know us, we're real safe. Oh, whoa, okay, that was a shocker. They're magnetic. There's a whole bunch of magnets on the inside. I thought maybe the controller was just gonna kind of slip in, it was gonna re-snap shut, but they're just, ow, that pinched my finger. They're just all magnets. So the proper way would have been put this here and then snap this on. But as we saw, you could also just kind of shove it in, the magnets would open and close and maybe pinch your fingers like they just did again. Huh, boy, they sure add a lot of depth to the controller. I'll give you that. So it's got multiple finger spots, but it's almost for like a 6-fingered person because technically your middle finger should be landing on your grip button, which means logically one finger should land there, one finger should land there, but there's still another ridge almost for another finger. So I guess your other option would be if you're someone who wants to move your fingers down for a game like Beat Saber and not hold your grip buttons in, you could move it, or you could even move all of them down and do this number, which wouldn't really make any sense. Magnets maybe could be a little stronger. All right, let me play with this other one really quick. Now the funny thing, yes, I should have the wrist strap in there to stay on my wrist, but that wouldn't have prevented the thing from exploding into a million pieces. It would have just prevented my controller from flying across the room. Is this, oh, and this one actually replaces your battery door. So this one might be a little more secure. So this one, it looks like it's got hooks here to go in and snap in place, maybe. 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 Oh, we finally got it in far enough. Well, this one adds a whole lot more length. Kind of, I mean, if you had really big hands, I've got pretty wide mitts and still like, I'm feeling a little of the benefit, but I mean, you'd have to have some huge hands. Or if you were someone who wanted to be able to scoot your hands all the way down here while you're playing something like Beat Saber or Supernatural and not be pushing your buttons all the time, I guess it gives you that possibility. We're gonna do it right. We're gonna take some time and get back at you with some final thoughts after we've tested these at least for several days. So we'll be back shortly. So we are back, $20. Not exactly readily available yet on Amazon. They're gonna take a while if you were to order them. $23, it's been a minute they've been here. One thing that I do when reviewing is I don't go look at anyone else's reviews until I've fully assessed mine. Although I can tell you in that moment when I went like that and this controller went flying, My review was pretty close to finished, but I still wanted to try it all and mess around with it, see if there was any other value to it. The funny thing now, today I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go look at the Amazon reviews. It's got a 4.3, and everybody who like takes a picture and posts on there was zip ties. There was electrical tape around it. Everything was holding these together. And then the people went on to say, oh, I really like the handle and the way it feels. Like, to me, if you buy an accessory, you should not have to modify it. Some people deal with that because they bought it, they paid for it, whatever. I will say I'm shocked, even though it's cheap plastic, I was shocked at how nice the plastic felt in my hand over time. I did find I liked that little extra girth. I liked the extra grip. And it's not really surprising because with the Quest 2, I really liked the Obica grips and the Kiwi grips that also gave you a little extra something to hang on to. Overall, it takes it from about a 5-inch total length controller, that's not just your hand, that's all of it, to about 6 inches in total length. So it's maybe a big difference. It doesn't feel like the most difference in your hand. What you notice is how much wider it is. But you also notice every time you haven't strapped it up yourself somehow that happens. And again, I should be using a wrist strap, but even then, this comes loose and this piece still goes flying because as you can see here, your wrist strap only goes through this hole. So your wrist strap doesn't help hold the thing together at all. This half launches, your wrist strap comes loose and your controller drops down here and is dangling. So yeah, a definite no-go. But it does get me excited at the future of grips that are coming that do add some more length, some more width to the controllers. And obviously it's got this silicone strap here, which was fine on my hand. You know, it was like some of those cheaper ones we tried for the Quest 2 back in the day. You can adjust them, but ultimately it's just a little random silicone strap with some floppy bits hanging that are annoying. Now the other one, I actually did find I liked this a little bit more. It holds onto your hand, although it doesn't feel as nice because it is adding a little bit of width to the controller, but with the trade-off that all of it has a hard seam on all the edges of it. So when it's in your hand, it feels weird because these two fingers are sticking out further than these two are. You notice if your hand's moving, that action of that rubbing and that ridge there. So I didn't like anything about that per se, but it did hold onto my hands well. The strap is comfy. It's wider pretty much than any other strap on the market, so it does cover more of the back of your hand. And as far as the plastic material itself, it doesn't actually feel as cheap and glossy as this one does. It feels more similar to the controller. So I actually like the feel of that. And then what I did like too, whether you're in Supernatural, Beat Saber, and especially if you're really into Gorilla Tag, what you could do is you could kind of slip your hand down the controller and you get a little extra length. You don't have to constantly be messing with these when you're trying to play something like Beat Saber. Because like with the traditional controller, when I play Beat Saber, I'm like this the whole time when I swing. I'm holding in the trigger, I'm holding in the grip button. It's probably not great for either of them, I'm holding them for no reason. But with this, you've got plenty of room. You can move your hand down, it still holds onto you tight, and you can really be moving. I don't think these are the right model yet. I think there's a lot more coming like this. But for now, these are good enough that I actually did enjoy them for what they were. These were just hilarious. I feel like that thing exploding in my hand is probably a pretty great little meme for the future of the channel there because that was just so unexpected. Again, another big thanks to Stewart for sending these out. As far as grips go, I'll leave some links in the description down below to the current ones I'm really liking. I want you to wait. I don't want you to go buy this one, but that doesn't mean that I can say that it's a bad grip in and of itself for what they design. It's got some things that annoy me. So I guess I'll leave a link with those caveats that, you know, if you really want extension, if you're someone who needs an extra inch in Gorilla Tag to just reach out a little further when you're playing tag, this could do the job. But thank you, Stuart, for sending that to me. That was really fun to get to check these out. I think you knew what you were sending me when you sent me this one. I don't know, I'll find out from you on the Discord, but I think you knew that was gonna happen, so I hope you really enjoyed that moment when it exploded on me. What are you thinking out there about grips right now? Are you waiting on something bigger, thicker, stronger? Are you hoping for something that just gives you that extra length to give you a little bit of advantage in games? Are you someone who's rocking it completely? No grip, no cover, no nothing? Let me know in the comments down below. But thank you once again. I'll see you in another reality.